Hey all, Vinks here. We got a brand new patch today. This patch has been very sought after. They said that there's going to be a huge Shuri nerf, and I actually have no idea what's in this patch. I literally just woke up. I saw that this patch came out and was actually announced pretty early in the morning, and I'm here, and we're going to jump into it and give you my initial reaction on the patch. So let's talk about it. Patch highlights. We start with Weekly Spotlight. When a new Series 5 card is released, it will be immediately featured in its own section. So that's awesome. People have talked about that a lot, you know, not being able to get the card right away that they want to buy. So just having it immediately show up is great. Section will be hidden until the new card is released. About the newest card release, here's what you've been waiting for. Perfect. Love it. Ultimate variants. It's some of the most epic variants of the game. Felt they deserve their own section. Okay, so new section for ultimate variants. And then Series 4 and Series 5 section will feature cards you don't own in Series 4 and Series 5. So now there's 3 options in the shop. Sick. I mean, more choices is awesome. Everyone's been asking for more choices around that. So love that. Game board update. We made some updates to our game board. Check out the new art in FX. Well, I'm excited. I'm going to jump and check this out. We probably won't cover it in the video, but that's really cool. And then seasonal card drops. So from 5 to 4, we have Ghost, Stature, and MODOK. 4 to 3, Shuri, Bast, Valkyrie, Super Skrull, Black Panther. So Super Skrull's gonna be awesome to have a lot of people have access to that kind of like cool tech card. That's really nice. Bast, a lot of people have been really excited. And then obviously Shuri, we'll see if it's still worth playing. We'll see. General updates: player that reach infinite rank will only match against other infinite players. Wow, I thought that was coming later, but right away. Boom, love it. When you tap on a card for more details in the shop, the card detail screen will now feature artist credits, variety. I hope that it also makes it so you can't click off the screen and snap or end turns. That's been really frustrating. When inspecting, you can now flip to see the card back in full detail. Okay, pretty cool. After roughly, and more detail to the card backs. Okay, that'll be cool, like assessing and looking through. After roughly 10 hours of gameplay in a day, players will stop earning season pass XP from gameplay for the remainder of the day. Bit unnecessary. Don't love that. Probably just to stop Agatha botting or limit Agatha botting. Probably also important to do that with like the infinite rank. If you don't know, there's some people who literally get to infinite and then they just have an Agatha bot, just play games over and over and over again, just to farm season pass XP to get as much as possible. Maybe they're just trying to limit that. New sound for Squircle, love it. Drag? Well, it probably means when you're dragging around the screen. New location sounds for Camp Lehigh, alright. Added VO support for Thailand, Indonesia, love it. Balance updates. In the wake of our last balance change, we saw the metagame settle into a much healthier shape than it had before. However, we were too shallow with our adjustments to Shuri Taskmaster decks, Lockjaw Leech Shells, both with and without Thanos, and remain solid contenders. Today's changes aim to push both of those decks up to a clear top spot. Outside of Shuri Taskmaster, the metagame looking healthy under our internal updates. Shuri. Previous 4-2 on reveal, double the card of the next card you play. Double the power of the next card you play. Update 4-2 on reveal if you play a card here next. If you play your next card here, double its power. Okay, a lot of people have theorized that this is going to be it. So let's just see what they say and then I'll give you my thoughts. We considered a number of changes to Shuri. They all tended to ruin her current decks. Some even thematically risked making a new monster with different parts. That's not a great risk to run when balancing a problematically strong card. The change we're making today may seem small and subtle, but we expect it to be impactful and retain the same flow of play for her existing decks, which is a consistent goal in our balancing philosophy. This nerf removes Cosmo's protective capability, makes single card answers like Valkyrie easier to aim, indirectly buffs lane control elements like Professor X. We're taking a risk here. This nerf that could leave Shuri still a strength outlier. If so, we'll react quickly. So great response. I think that this shows that they get it, which is really cool. They kind of understand. I like this. This is I want it to be cap plus 10, but I maybe like this even more. I like the idea of thinking about how Valkyrie and Shadow King now just can kind of have those easy counters. So now, you know, if you have a Shadow King, if you have a Shang-Chi, as long as you can work your priority right, you can always hit that Shuri lane if they're playing it. That's pretty cool. And then yeah, you know, things like Spider-Man, Professor X, all these different things can have an impact on it, which is really cool. Maybe if there's a fist tower, you can juggernaut it, right? Let's see. I mean, I think that they poke Shuri down to the point where it's not as much of a monster as it used to be, and I think that this will be enough. I think that this will make Shuri kind of give it the Thanos treatment, where it still feels very strong, but it's not true. Leech. Previous on reveal, remove the abilities from all cards in your opponent's hand. Update. No on reveal. At the start of turn 6, remove all abilities from your opponent's hand. Okay. So it's basically just going to make Leech work exactly as kind of intended, as a big turn 5 play that stops a huge turn 6 play for very low tempo. Never been the goal for Leech to be a heavily played card. We understand that it's been a frustration lately when it's happening. It usually means a finisher is generically strong against pure power, like Leech Leader, or a deck can play Leech earlier than turn 5 too often, Lockjaw Thanos. We tried in the past to weaken the stronger cards in the deck, but it's been a balance and design obstacle, thus we decided to remove the early Leech from the equation. Leech is designed to counter some powerful endgame cards, combinations with a unique angle without any setup, which is important to have around in the event of those decks begin to overperform. This change should let him fulfill the role when necessary without ever making him a foundational piece of the metagame. So, okay. The only thing I'm scared about says at the start of turn 6. If that's before you draw your card, that's fine. Because that just basically means that whenever you play the Leech, it's a turn 5 Leech. If it's after you draw a card on turn 6, that makes Leech significantly stronger when you play it on turn 5. Because if you play it out on turn 5 and it hits your top deck too, that was some of the only ways that you could beat Leech with certain decks, was just relying on a good top deck and then playing like a leeched card. That's interesting. It says at the start, so hopefully it's before the draw. So this is cool because Leech will still be seen in things like that Gunny Patriot list, where it's just like a powerful turn 5 kind of backup plan, or, you know, some decks that are just going to play it on turn 5 no matter what, but it removes that Lockjaw early ramp out the Leech, Sandman Leech, all these things. So I like it. I think that this is a smart direction to take Leech, and I as long as it doesn't affect your top deck, which makes it much stronger on turn 5, I think we're fine. Lockjaw. Previous 3-2, after you play a card here, swap with a card in your deck. Update. 3-2, after you play a card here, swap with a card in your deck once per turn. Okay. I have had some issues with Thanos decks playing like 50 power from hand in one turn, on turn 6. So we'll see. Developer comments. Lockjaw is a fun and exciting card. But each trigger of this good boy basically draws a card and generates up to 6 energy at random. A lot of variants have multiple competitive decks. As we add cards, new ways to improve to sidestep Lockjaw's risk whilst becoming available. This will be the most powerful and frustrating use of Lockjaw is triggering multiple times in a turn, often with a snap play along the way. We're changing it. Limiting Lockjaw to 1 swap per turn forces the player to develop their board without letting them sprint ahead or spring a late surprise. This will make Lockjaw simpler to play against less potent decks, incidentally playing a lot of cheat cards like Thanos. I still think you play him in just about any Thanos deck. The Lockjaw interaction is so crazy when the stones can go in and swap. But this is a nice touch from a power level perspective. I think this is really, really smart from a power level perspective. I like it. Chavez! Previous 6-9, you always draw this card on turn 6, not before. Update 6-9 starts at the bottom of your deck, draw this on turn 6. Starts at the bottom of your deck, draws it on turn 6. You know what this is probably for? Well, we'll read, and then I'll give my opinion. Previously, if you were about to draw Chavez, she would just draw the next card instead. This means over the course of the game, she's a lot more likely to be your top card. Thus far, this has been largely unimportant outside of Yondu. This does restrict our ability to print cards that interact with the top of your deck. We expect this update to have little impact on Chavez's functionality. Yeah, okay. So there's a couple of cards that have been data mined, one of which is it's Howard the Duck, I think. It's like a 1/2 that you can see the top card of your deck. So it's like a really interesting card where you can see the top card of your deck, so you know what you're going to end up drawing, which works with things like Iron Lad. So Iron Lad was another one of those data mine, which I think it's a 4/6 where you read the top card, maybe. I'll try and find them and then add them into the video, so you'll see it there, hopefully. But those interact with the top of your deck. So if you wanted to run Chavez in those decks, then it kind of messes you up because Chavez will always be on the top. Cool change. Just makes the thing work the same. And this change. Oh, and they changed Jubilee back. So if you guys didn't know it, so Jubilee previous on reveal, add a card from your deck to this location, add the top card of your deck to this location. So this used to be Jubilee, and there used to be this plan where you'd have Chavez in your deck and Jubilee, and very often you'd pull Chavez. They nerfed it because of this interaction, because they felt it was too strong. I think if they reverted it now, it would be fine, because it kind of got power crept eventually, but it's kind of cool. Look at that. Some players may remember a time where Jubilee had this ability. Back then, Jubilee would often be a 410 and she'd pull America Chavez very consistently. It would actually be a 411 because Chavez got changed to a 610, I believe, in the same patch that they changed Jubilee. I think it happened at the same time. So it was actually a 411. We decided to change Jubilee's effect instead of Chavez's, as the former was much simpler to change communicate. However, we're looking to design cards that interact with the top of your deck, like those two that I mentioned previously. So we're bringing this card back, this design back too. We expect this update to have little impact on Jubilee for the time being. Leader. Previous 6/7 on reveal, copy all cards your opponents played to the location right of here, but on your side. Update 6/2. On reveal, copy the enemy cards with the highest power played this turn, but on your side. Okay. So if they hand dump, you only get the highest card. If they play one giant card, you get it. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, my boy Leader is back, man. He's toned down, but he's back, man. Developer comments were clearly too harsh on Leader for his previous nerf. Where dismaying the action became a go-to example of how ruinous a nerf can be. Speaking my language, friend. Our balance philosophy is to preserve as much playability as we reasonably can when weakening cards. We didn't succeed here previously. This change, we're aiming to bring his strength back up to a playable spot for a success card, but avoid the oppressive impact his original form had. Err on the cautious side with his power for now. Some previous defenses against the original leader, such as playing weaker cards before a strong one, no longer apply. Interesting. Very interesting. You know what? Oh, I'm playing this tonight. If you're watching, I will go live with this deck later tonight. There's this really cool deck go around. It's Doom Wave. We're gonna play Leader Wave. Play Wave on 5, Leader She-Hulk on 6. Oh man, that is mean. That is a rude deck right there. Leader Wave. We're gonna play Leader Wave tonight. We'll see you there. Bug fixes. Game no longer crashes on Android devices and switching languages. No longer an inf loop if morph spawns. Randomly copies Kang. Love it. Token shop should now display properly. Tapping duplicate Kangs in play this turn as rewinding should no longer cause the card to disappear. Spotlight cards in the Season Pass UI now focus. Credit gold deep linking should now navigate the shop from word mission. What the heck did you say to me? UI elements such as the avatar menu emoji should no longer be clickable when viewing a card's details in game. Moving a card to the details view and releasing should no longer close the details view. Moving a card in the details view and releasing should no longer move the card in the details view. Hopefully that helps. One of the things that's a problem. Fixing usually cause all snap when certain card location combinations are played with Galactus. Allowed to use characters and deck names that should be blocked. Very nice. It's something that has been annoying and finds ways to have some heinous names in the game, so that's good. Statements VXF to play in situations it shouldn't. The overlap from Camp Lehigh. Navigation bar doesn't stay up and go into news items. Kang no longer causes in-game. Oh, thank you, dude. The Kang music was a nightmare, dude. Snapping after Kang, been played, no longer results in overlapping UI. Claiming collector's reserves after upgrading a card should no longer fail. That has been a little bit annoying recently. Variant cards in shop no longer display the wrong card art. Okay. Rasty effect should no longer be missing when your opponent triggers it. Sort no longer remains open in the collection. Non-functional full screen options should no longer be visible for iOS. VFX UI elements properly aliased. Lua should not be displayed properly. Yo. And then known issues list. I don't think we have to go through this known issues list. But wow, what a patch. What a big shit to the metagame. So quick thoughts on everything. Shuri, love that they're bringing her down. I think that her Dexa is probably at the point where it's fine. Maybe they bump Red Skull a little bit eventually, but I think that this really helps. You're going to be able to get Shawned a lot more often, which is really important for beating that deck. Leech, all I'm scared about is the start of turn 6, so I might sound like an idiot because it happens before the card, but if it affects the card you draw on turn 6, this is a bit of a nightmare. And the Leech's play rate might go up, which is psycho. But outside of that, just stopping the sad face early Leech is great. And very interesting. So if they early Leech, then you can expect it in dump hand as you need to. Lockdraw, cool. I think that Lockdraw is very frustrating to just hand dump on like turn 4 or turn 6. So I think that this is a great change. Really like this change. Once per turn, makes the card still strong, but still just is played in the decks that he's played in, which is great. America Chavez Jubilee stuff, not a big impact, but smart that they're setting things like this up for the future. And then Leader, man. Leader Wave coming at you tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much for watching. Sorry to be a little bit late on this update. But as always, if you're enjoying this content, make sure to hit the like button. A bunch of you aren't subscribed to me. You can subscribe down below for daily Marvel Snap content. And you can catch me live at twitch.tv/Binks_plays. Binks out. Make sure to subscribe. Watch that one too.